So I've got, and this is something I hear on this. The first tip is listen to these guys. Come in their chat. Come in. If you're just watching this live show, if you can come in the live show, the podcast here, if you can come in their live show, ask them a question. They'll answer it. There's not many places. I get questions all the time. I got a question today on email. It was 5 different questions in one. I'm like, man, this is going to take me 20 minutes to type this thing out, And so my advice is always the same. I'm like, here's 2 things to do. Go over, check those guys' show out, drop a question in one of their videos, and they'll answer it, or they'll make it the topic of a video. Facebook groups are tough. We have on the Trash to Cash podcast group, but go in there. If you can handle all the nonsense in there, you can drop questions. If you can handle people ripping you for your stupid question, you'll get answers. You'll get 7 answers and then try to figure it out, right? So there's another, you could do that as well. And I actually think that's a good way to do it, because sometimes it's good to get 7 answers, and then you kind of look at it, and then there's the debate, and then you come up with your strategy. But I think one simple thing that people do wrong, and I even look at my own listings now, and this is wrong on some of my own listings. It's because I don't do all my listings. I'm not throwing Bubba's girlfriend under the bus or anything, but she does some as well. And I'm like, I didn't list that. If you're gonna do a sell similar, just don't take everybody's title. You could take the title, don't get me wrong, it's a great start, but make it a better title. If you're doing, look for the ones that sold for a top dollar, and there might be something about that title. There might be a keyword in that title that's not in the other ones that's causing it to get more money because it's more searchable. And I was teasing Cernoch the other day, 80 characters or nothing, right? If you get 78, you're a slacker, right? You got to get to 80 characters, which, whatever, you don't have to get to 80 characters, but you can put a word in there that might catch 1% of the searchers. And, people are weird and they think differently. No offense, Tim, but, not everybody thinks the same. And so when they search something, if only 2% of people who are looking for that item put in one particular word, you're going to get that 2%. And you might be the only person out there with that word in your title, and yours might be the only one or one of few that pops up. And so improve the titles you're using. And the only way you can do that is to find those keywords, find those things that people might search for that everybody else doesn't have. So there's my one-on-one for the day.
I know for us, we here, honestly, I picked up a lot of my actual writing titles from the guys that are here. I remember Kevin talking about it a long time ago, and I've been hanging out with these guys. It's crazy. We were talking about this is our 3rd year at the 100 Mile Yard Sale together. So it's kind of interesting to think of the progression about 3.5 years that we've been hanging out together a little bit. And I remember Cernoch and Tim both talking about, Tim's the first one I ever heard to say 80 characters, man, that's nothing. Or he hates Macari because they only let you have a certain amount of characters. I need more. He wants to be very descriptive in what he has. But then the keywords are key. They are key. That's why they're called keywords.